Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to Stately Fawn Manor. And it is Tag Thursday. Sorry I didn't have a tag for you on Tuesday. I was kind of in a rush that day. I only had a short amount of time to film and no real time to prepare. So I wasn't able to get you a tag on Tuesday. That's why I told you that rather mean-spirited Dean Koontz story. But today I do have a tag for you. I'll be doing the D tag. I was tagged by Justin at This Just In. This is Jim's tag. Jim from Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. And he's pretty far ahead of me as far as the tags right now. I think he's already up to H. And I'm just doing D. Oh well. I'll do the D tag and maybe I'll catch up. Who knows? I won't. So, the D tag. Let's get right to it. To the D tag. What have we got here? D is for Dahl. What is your favorite book by Roald Dahl? I only have read one book a long time ago, which would be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like most little kids, that was my first Dahl book and my only Dahl book. I never read another one. I got that from the library, I think, just because I liked the movie an awful lot. Let's see. Next question. D is for Doctor Who. What is your favorite book about time travel? And I think also you're supposed to give your favorite Doctor from Doctor Who, which is appropriate. My favorite Doctor from Doctor Who is the Fourth Doctor, because when I was a little kid, and Doctor Who would come on, he would come on PBS, I believe. I think he was on the PBS channel, and it was the Fourth Doctor, and I had no idea that there were other Doctors at that time, but I liked the Fourth Doctor an awful lot. I like the Fourth Doctor an awful lot now. I mean, I like most of the Doctors, to tell you the truth. I like 2, I like 3, 4, I like 5. I even like 6. I mean, I like a lot of the Doctors, especially the classic Doctors. But then with the new series, I like 9 a lot too, because he got me back into the show. And so I have a soft spot in my heart for old 9. He was only with us for like 10 episodes or something, but I like 9 an awful lot. I wasn't too thrilled with 10 when 10 showed up, but he won me over, and by the time he left, I loved him just like everyone else did. And I was a pretty big fan of 11. I could go on, but I won't. I'm rather a fan of Doctor Who. I like that show an awful lot. So let's just talk about my favorite book about time travel. That would be The Time Machine. Now, I don't have my copy of The Time Machine. That's in the back of the manor somewhere, but I do have it in this big sucker right here. This is the War of the Worlds and Other Novels, and it's got The Time Machine in it as the first novel in here. It's teensy, but yeah, The Time Machine was the first time travel story I ever actually read, and it's still one of my favorite novels. Short novel, novelette, whatever it is, it's one of my favorites. I could read that over and over. I love The Time Machine. So that's the answer to that. D is for dark. What is the darkest book you have ever read? Well, I've read an awful lot of dark books, but for me, probably the darkest book I felt personally was this big guy, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. No need to say why, I don't think. It's an awful large history about the rise and fall of the Nazis. I don't know if there's anything worse than Nazis. Now, this book is dated. This is like a 50-year-old book by now, at least. It reads that way. It is dated when you read it. You just have to take it. You have to take it for what it is. The history itself, though, is really good. And it is dark. Dark stuff. So that's the darkest book I think I've read. D is for Dickens. How many Dickens novels have you read? That's a good question. I probably should have prepared. Let me see. David Copperfield. There was Great Expectations. There was Tale of Two Cities. I think I've read 4 of them. Maybe 5. I'd have to look through the Charles Dickens list. Charles Dickens is not my favorite writer. Even from that time, he's not my favorite. I don't think he's bad at all. He's obviously great. But I think I've only read maybe 5 books from Charles Dickens. I hate to have to admit that to you folks, but it's true. I need to read more, obviously. Let's see. D is for dictionary. In the internet years, do you still use a physical paper dictionary? No, of course not. Why would I do that? Does anybody do that? I guess if the electricity went out and you had no internet or something, and you were really in a bind, you could, but nah. I mean, I've got one somewhere. I don't know where. Okay. D is for dagger and detective. What was the last detective novel that you read? That's sitting right down here. Hold on, guys. It's down here somewhere, I think. Well, I'm just going to hold up this for the entire series. This is The Last Policeman. It's a trilogy, The Last Policeman trilogy, so the last book I read was the last book in this trilogy, which isn't sitting where I thought it was. But yeah, The Last Policeman trilogy. And that's kind of a science fiction detective series. Awful good one, though. And it is about a detective, so it counts for that question. Science fiction or not. Okay. D is for Dostoevsky. What is your favorite Dostoevsky novel? It was Crime and Punishment, but now it is this. This is The Brothers Karamazov. This is not only my favorite Dostoevsky novel, I think, in my opinion, out of all the novels I've read, this is the best novel that I've ever read. Opinions differ on this sort of thing. I did a top 20 greatest novels of all time because I'm an idiot and I do stuff like that. And this one was my top pick for that. Again, this kind of thing is going to be subjective to a certain amount. It inevitably is. But to me, this is the greatest novel of all time that I've read, and it certainly is my favorite from his books. It's just a magnificent novel. It succeeds on every level, I feel. I love this book. It's great. So, that was my answer for that. D is for diversity. Which book from your reading ticked the most diversity boxes? That's an easy one. That would be this big guy. This is Saga by the very well-named Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a magnificent comic book. This is actually a huge compendium of the first 50 issues of this comic book. It's a great comic book. And you might say, well, Mike, Saga is all about aliens. Yes, it is about aliens. But these aliens are representing different races and cultures. And, I mean, it's pretty easy to see. And then you've got gay characters in this. You've got a bisexual character in this. You've got a trans character in this. This is probably the most diverse thing story-wise I've got in the manner. It's wonderful, too. This is a great comic book. It's really entertaining, and you get really emotionally involved in this. It's fantastic. I mean, by the end of this, I was just like, it hit me in the emotional feels. Good comic. And diverse. So yeah, that one. What else do I have? D is for drawing. Who is your favorite visual artist? Now, this is a tough one, you know, because I am a comic book fan, obviously. So I'm like getting this and I'm like, oh, well, geez, who is my favorite visual artist? I've got so many. So in the comic book world, there's like Jack Kirby. God, there are so many others who are so great. And then there's the illustrating world. Frank Frazetta pops instantly to mind. But after thinking about this, and I had to think about it, I came up with Alex Ross. Alex Ross is famous for his superhero painting. He does this, which I think is the ultimate Superman illustration. This one image captures the essence of Superman. Everything you need to know about Superman and what he's about is right here in this just beautiful, beautiful painting. Now this guy's painting, this is beautiful, beautiful stuff. How fortunate that a guy with this much talent decided to paint superheroes. And he did a couple great series for both Marvel. He did Marvels, and he did Kingdom Come for DC Comics. Has just done a lot of painting. He's got, for both companies, he's just got this classic painting style. And he just does these iconic images of these wonderful characters. You know, I spend most of my time when I talk about comic books nowadays talking about Marvel comics, because we're doing our epic Marvel Wednesdays, me and Steve Donahue. But I love DC Comics, and this guy, he just does these characters. Just does it, just an amazing, I mean, just amazing images, complex. I mean, you could stare at this stuff for a long time. It's just great work. So yeah, that's my answer for that. Alex Ross, this guy, man. See, I made a mistake opening this book. Now I just want to sit here and look at it. It's amazing, this guy's stuff. So Alex Ross, he's the man, my favorite visual artist. And then I think this is Justin's edition. D is for drink, which I guess he's asking, what is your favorite drink? My favorite drink is coffee. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I mean, every once in a while I will have a drink, like if I'm at a restaurant or like at an event or something, I might have something, but I don't drink much alcohol. It's just really not for me. But coffee, I love coffee. And to my horror, I've discovered that many people drink coffee all wrong. I was really kind of shocked to discover this. Now, since we're already talking about it, I'll tell you, there's only one way, really, to drink coffee. There's a proper way, and then there's the wrong way, which is what most people do. Now, it doesn't really matter how you brew the coffee. That is up to you, whether it's like French press or you got the Mr. Coffee. Do they still make Mr. Coffees? You know what I mean. A regular coffee machine, you know, that's fine. But the only way to properly serve and drink coffee is to take your coffee from the French press or whatever. Take your coffee mug, and it should be a mug. It should be a ceramic mug. But if you want to get fancy, you can have a glass mug. But as long as it's a mug, then you get the coffee, you pour it into the mug, you drink the coffee. That is the proper way. It's the only right way to do it. Now, a lot of people are like, no, man, I want to put like cream in my coffee. I want to put sugar in my coffee and stir it around. Maybe I want to put some caramel flavoring in it. No, man, you're doing it wrong. That's the wrong way to do it. You're thinking of tea. That's what you're thinking of. You know, you can get your tea and, you know, put your sugar in there and your little biscuits or whatever. That's fine. I'm all for tea. I like tea. But that's tea you're thinking about. Coffee, black. That's the only way. That's the proper way. So yeah, I just, public service announcement, you know, that's what I'm here for. Help out. So yeah, D is for drink, and that is my drink. Black coffee. Black as asphalt, and just as tasty. That's my drink. And I think that was the last question. Now, I'm not going to tag anybody, because I think literally everybody has done this tag but me. Because like I said, they're up to H. If you haven't done this tag, consider yourself tagged. Yeah, I don't know if I was tagged in E or not. I think I was tagged in F. I don't know. I'll have to check. So yeah, I'm way behind. I'm gonna stay way behind, I'm sure. But it's a fun tag, and Jim does a great job on these tags. He's amazing. Yeah, Jim is the best tag maker since Book Time with Elvis. They're both fantastic. So yeah, I'll link them down below. I'll link This Just In down below. So yeah, you can check them out. Thanks for stopping by here at Stately Vaughan Manor once again. I got another video coming up for you tomorrow, so I will catch you then. Bye, guys.